Hello, welcome to Miss Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Miss Peepers. Let's talk about banned books. Throughout this month, we're celebrating Banned Books Week, which was at the end of September, by discussing a different banned book in every video. The goal here is to talk about what books have been banned, why they're banned, and also to give you some education so that you can choose what books you want to read and not let somebody else decide what you are allowed to read. And today's banned book is Captain Underpants by Dav Pilkey. Now, I only have the second one because I found it in a little free library. I had never read Captain Underpants before. It was an experience. I'm not the target audience for this series, but that's okay. That's not the point. Captain Underpants follows two boys called George and Harold. They're kids, they like drawing comics and playing silly pranks and getting into trouble. And in the first book, they were writing a comic book about a superhero called Captain Underpants. And thanks to a set of circumstances, they accidentally turned their principal into Captain Underpants. This is the second book, Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets. Thanks to a science fair experiment gone wrong, the school is overrun by a set of talking toilets. They are trying to kill people, and there is, of course, a big boss monster talking toilet at the end as well. This is a case for Captain Underpants, and so Harold and George help their principal transform again so that he can defeat the enemy. So this target audience is definitely kids. It's a certain type of kids. These are full of potty humor and just ridiculousness. It's got some really fun illustrations too. I'm not the target audience as a 42-year-old woman. I'm definitely not the target audience, but I can totally see how a middle schooler would just eat this up. They would love this. And I'm holding on to this book for my godson when he's old enough. But adults have freaked out about this book. This book has been banned for ostensibly offensive language. It is unsuited to the age group. It is disrespectful towards authority, and it has violence. I've only read one of these. I wouldn't call any of this language offensive. There's potty humor. There's definitely a joke in here about what happens when the toilet eats the food from the cafeteria. Same thing that probably happens to the humans who eat the food from the cafeteria. It doesn't sit well with one system. As far as violence, there's some comic book-esque violence in here, but yeah, the toilets eat the teachers. The teachers are fine at the end. They spit them back out. It's fine. Probably unsettling, but it's fine. The disrespect for authority is an interesting one. So yes, Harold and George are not good kids. They pull pranks. They break the rules. They end up in detention a lot. But the teachers and the principal in this book do not exactly invite respect. I didn't respect them. And look, I'm a rule follower. I am lawful neutral. I will follow the rules to the letter. I did not respect these adults though. They're incredibly childish towards the kids. And when the kids get suspended, the teachers throw a party. Like literally, we're not gonna have to deal with these kids. We're throwing a party. And they say that in front of the kids who've just been suspended. I see the message as not every adult deserves to be respected. On a serious note, I do think that when we talk about censorship and disrespect for authority, because that does come up a fair amount, especially with children's books, the assumption is that adults are always right and adults always know what we're doing and that adults always have kids' best interests in mind. And while it would be a beautiful world if that were true, all three of those things are false, particularly that last one. I think there's a fine line, and I think that when you're a kid, you can't always judge appropriately whether you should push back against authority or not. But part of reading is helping to learn when you can and cannot do that, when you should and should not do that, what you should and should not put up with. And so teaching children to listen to adults no matter what, it can be a double-edged sword. And honestly, this series is not meant to be super serious. If you read this and thought that it was serious, I would love to know more about you. Let's talk. A fun thing that I learned when I was reading up for this video was that in the United States, the first toilet flush on television did not occur until 1971. And that happened on the show Leave It to Beaver, I believe. I believe it was Archie Bunker who flushed the first toilet on television. Before that on television, It was not acknowledged that toilets exist or what they are for, which should give you a little bit of insight into American society and how we operate. We are really awkward about bodily functions. So I would definitely recommend this book to kids in particular, or to anyone who's interested, but to kids in particular, because Dav Pilkey knows his demographic and he is really good at reaching them. So let me know, have you read any of the Captain Underpants books or anything else by Dav Pilkey? What did you think of them? And either way, I'll see you in the next one.